Hey there folks, in this video I'm going to explain how you can use Fetch API in Next.js. For that we need an API that we can call to learn how to use the Fetch API in Next.js. I'm going to use Rapid API Hub, which provides over 40,000 APIs. For the sake of this video, I'm using the famous Quotes API from Rapid API Hub. You can use any of the APIs present on Rapid API Hub. So please go ahead and subscribe to the API. I've already subscribed to the free plan of this API. Now we need to set up a Next.js application inside your code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code Editor and I'm going to open my terminal. The simplest way to set up a Next.js application is to run this command npx create next app. It's asking me if I want to proceed, so I am going to enter Y for yes. It is going to take a couple of minutes to set up the Next.js application. This command will create a Next.js project. As you can see on the left hand side, next-app is appearing. If you want to change the name, you can just replace the next-app with whatever you want. I'm just sticking to next-app. Let's clear the terminal screen. Now I'm going to open this directory. For that I am typing cd next-app and I'm going to run this command npm run dev to run the application. This command will start the development environment of your Next.js application and you can visit it on localhost 3000. Let's go to our localhost 3000, refresh it, and yes, the Next.js application has been created. Let's now go back to our VS Code, and once you're done, open the index.js file inside the pages directory and delete all the code that is present inside this index.js file. Let's delete that. After deleting everything from the index.js file, the first step is to import styles from styles home.module.css sheet, and then we are going to create a call API function. This code right here will render a button that will execute call API function when clicked, and the button will be titled as make API call. We will use our fetch API inside this call API function right here to call the APIs. Let's see how we can do that. Let's now go back to our API on Rapid API Hub, and here on the right hand side, the code snippets, I'm going to click this drop down menu and change to JavaScript fetch right here. This is the code that has been generated. I'm going to take this code as reference to write a similar code for this API. Going back to my VS Code, and here inside my call API function, I have added an await. I am using the fetch API here. The fetch API is asynchronous, so we need to await this. As you can see on your screens right here, I've done that. It is a function that takes the API endpoint as its first parameter. This is the API endpoint and it is taking it as its first parameter. The second parameter of the fetch API is an object that contains data like the HTTP method. Here in this case it's the get method, so I've added that. Request headers, here I've added the request headers, also request bodies, and so on. If you go back to your API on Rapid API Hub, you're getting two request headers, the Rapid API key and Rapid API host as well. From here, I'm going to copy my Rapid API key that I got after subscribing to this API, and I'm going to paste it here. Similarly, inside my Rapid API host, I'm going to copy this and paste it there. We have made a GET request in this code snippet. If you want to make a POST request, you can just replace this GET with POST, and you can even add the request body after this. Since in this entire code we're calling the call API function right here on the on-click event handler of the button, it makes an API call using fetch API in a Next.js app. Let's now save this file, Command S, and run the application by npm run dev inside my terminal. Let's now go back to our localhost 3000, and here is the button. To view if it's working properly or not, let's open our console. After opening the console, let's click this button, make API call, to see if it's working, and here is the response. It's working as we wanted it to work. That's all, folks. I hope you now understand how to use the Fetch API inside the Next.js application to call other APIs. If this video was helpful, go ahead and sign up to Rapid API Hub for free.